Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Miss Nur Faradila Mahat and Dr. Rosirawan Abdul Aziz. I am Nur Fareza binti Sahrudin 2019 542569 will be as the presenter 1. We are from group P10M21 will be presenting a study entitled The Application of Linear Programming Method in Analyzing the Profit of Bread Production for a Bakery. Our group was supervised by Dr. Masna Banu Muhammad Habibur Rahman.
I am Fatin Zulana binti Hamzah. My ID is 2019-154-829 and I am presenter 2.
I am Umika Isa binti Abdul Latif. My metric number is 2019725837.
In this video, we will cover 11 parts and let's start for the first part. The global economy is currently facing a significant production and demand gap. This is quite noticeable as many industries, especially F&B industries, have been affected by COVID-19. Therefore, this study aims to optimize profit and minimize the cost of production by applying a linear programming model by using Excel solver. The linear inequalities of the problem solved and performed by using Excel solver and the production results by the bakery are optimal. It was found that the constraints were fully utilized, hence satisfied the demand for each bread per day. Hence, this study comes out with the conclusion, which sensitivity analysis that it used to validate the data where the cost of production increased in line with the price of raw material and leads to the increasing price of bread in the bakery to maintain their profitability. For introduction, the disease of novel coronavirus, or also known as COVID-19, has been spreading rapidly around the world and many countries have declared a state of a health emergency. Chaudhry and Paul 2020 said that this pandemic has also affected the supply chain operation, sustainable economic growth, and the supply chain's environmental performance, such as food and beverage industries especially, where they have a negative supply stock. Therefore, a factory needs to balance between the product supply and demand during this pandemic as people now are on panic buying. Hence, this affects a market failure where high demand meets limited supply. So, this study uses a linear programming method for a bakery so that the bakery can determine how to get the best result such as highest profit or the lowest cost in a mathematical model. Every company should have known a way to utilize the feasible resources to maximize the profit gains. Therefore, one of the problems in this study, companies have started having issues with the underproduced product, such as F&B, because people were panicking trying to purchase all the basic needs to keep their stocks so as not to run out of supply. Secondly, decision makers of the companies mostly use qualitative decisions, where their decisions are mainly based on the total input utilized and output proceeds, and this is also said by Akpan 2016. Therefore, we come out with two objectives, which the first one is we want to set up a relevant constraints regarding cost and resources for the bakery to overcome the shortage or oversupply using linear programming model. Second, we want to optimize profit and minimize the cost of production by applying a linear programming model. Next, three benefits of this study are this can verify the efficiency of LP model whether it is suitable or not in optimizing the cost and profit for a factory. After that, this advances the company as this study contributes to a bakery that needs to determine how many units of each product from a choice of different products should be produced to maximize profit and can plan better financial planning ahead. However, we only focus on application of LP to find the highest profit and least cost production in a bakery. So, we have some limited access to resources on getting the data from the company and limitations on the constraints to be used in the model of linear programming. For the literature review, to solve the problems using this linear programming, it must satisfy three basic conditions. The first one is the objective function, that is certain quantitatively linear objective functions or any criteria that need to be optimized. Secondly, are the constraints that are limited resources that limit the value of choice variables in the objective functions. And the last one is decision variables, which is a variable is a group quantities that need to be determined. Hence, this is the formulation of the linear programming model. Prior studies have identified that the application of LP models has many benefits in solving problems that occur in various industries, especially related to the raw materials management, such as the paper from Indonesia, Nigeria, and Ethiopia in the year of 2020.
Methodology. For methodology, we have two phases. Phase 1, we have two steps. Step 1, we obtain the data. We have obtained the secondary data from the Journal of University Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM. Step 2, we analyze the data. And here is the three table which the type of bread with its ingredient and cost per day. Next, cost of production of each bread with the total cost of all bread. And lastly, the table of profit and cost production of bread. Phase 2, we modeling the data into the constraint. We have set the decision variable which is the type of bread, and we have 19 constraint which is ingredients. We also have constraint of restriction which are demand per bread, and lastly, D is our objective function.
Result and discussion. The result of our final year project is successfully obtained. These figures show the maximum profit we get after using Excel solver. The optimal solution linear programming of bread production we get is 47,368. Next is the table of used ingredient per day for each constraint. As we can see, there is oversupply for almost ingredient. Lastly, for our result, these figures show the demand for each type of bread production that the daily bakery need to produce in order to achieve maximum profit.
Sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis is done to see if there is a rise in the price of bread raw material, will it give any effect on the optimal solution we achieved before. Here we test for the three ingredients which are flour, butter and sugar. First, in flour, we raise the price about 20 cents of flour price, and we can see that our cost production increased by 4.83%. With cost of production increase, with our optimal solution decreased by 5%. Next is butter. For the butter, we rise the price about 50 cents, and we can see that the cost of production increased by 1.03%. With cost of production increase, our optimal solution decreased by 1.14%. Lastly is sugar. We raise the price of sugar by 30 cents, and we can see that the cost of production increased by 0.69%. With cost of production increase, our optimal solution decreased by 0.52%. For all the sensitivity analysis result, we can see that our objective function will be changed due to the increase of raw material. As a result, if raw material increase, daily bakery Sdn Berhad will also need to increase their price in order not to lose their profit.
In conclusion, the linear programming was used to formulate the problem in the daily bakery industry. Linear programming is significantly more efficient than majority of the industry empirical trial and error approach. Linear programming is useful and simple to use, but it might be challenging if not familiar with the concept. For our research, we decided to use Excel solver because it is easier and can be learned more quickly compared to the other software. Based on the sensitivity of the data, if the price of raw material increase, the cost of production also increase and lead to the increasing price of the bread in the daily bakery industry. There are some recommendations that have been suggested. First, it is good if it includes many other constraints such as machinery and labor hours to achieve better result. Next, aside from using Excel solver, try using other software such as Lingo or MATLAB, which may be better at solving linear programming problems. Last, the bakery employees should have strong business background and be able to manage the bread production by using mathematical modeling.